Welcome back to the deep dive. You know how sometimes you hit a certain level in a skill, whether it's playing an instrument, maybe mastering a new coding language, or even, I don't know, baking that perfect souffle.
Yeah.
And you just think, okay, what's next? How do you move beyond simply being good at something to achieving true mastery, maybe even innovation, and building a career around it? Well, today we're taking a deep dive into exactly that by looking at a really insightful musical education program.
Yeah, and what's so fascinating about this approach, I think, is how it offers a kind of blueprint for cultivating profound expertise, and not just in music, but, well, in virtually any field.
Right.
We're going to explore how this program, designed initially for musicians, actually helps them forge a unique identity and professional pathways that are applicable way beyond the concert stage.
Okay, so our mission today is to unpack this thing called the Triquetrae Advanced Program. We're drawing directly from its unique approach to what it calls mastery, innovation, and professional pathways.
Mm-hmm.
We'll explore how it guides students beyond what's typically considered an advanced amateur level, think maybe beyond a university audition standard,
Mm-hmm.
helping them transition into professional or highly engaged amateur roles by deeply refining their skills and really fostering some groundbreaking innovation.
Yeah, and this deep dive, it'll really show you how personal preferences aren't just sort of maintained, but actually enriched. Enriched by extensive research into diverse global practices,
Yeah,
allowing individuals to integrate really novel concepts, maybe from complex tuning systems or traditional folk practices, right into their own unique artistic or professional perspective.
So, okay, if you're someone aiming for the pinnacle of achievement in your chosen field, how does this program actually approach it? It seems to build on three core pillars: mastery, innovation, and professional pathways. Let's maybe unpack each one and see how these ideas might apply more universally.
Okay, so mastery. At its highest level, mastery here signifies a really profound, refined understanding and execution of all the core skills in an exceptionally high standard.
So we're talking precision.
Precision, control, comprehensive knowledge, it's where all the prior learning kind of coalesces into this integrated, almost seamless experience.
Okay. And now we think about that outside music, maybe for a highly skilled craftsperson.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just making something functional, right? It's the absolute precision, that intuitive grasp of material.
Exactly. Flawless execution that makes it art. And then there's innovation.
Which isn't just for the composers in this program, you said.
No, exactly. I mean, while innovation definitely grows in what they call the create zone at earlier levels, here at the advanced level, it really expands.
Expands how?
Well, students are encouraged to innovate within all the skills. So, imagine new approaches to how you practice or novel interpretations discovered through deep research, maybe developing a unique performance persona, or even exploring new ways to teach.
Huh. That's where it gets really interesting. So applying that maybe to the business world, innovation isn't just the big new product launch.
Right.
It could be an innovative way to run a meeting, a novel approach to client relations, even finding a more efficient way to analyze data.
Precisely, yeah. And then we have the third pillar, professional pathways.
Okay.
And this is where the application of those refined skills directly links to, well, real-world careers. The program offers quite skill-specific options, things like meticulous transcription, developing effective teaching methods, understanding the complexities of music publishing, strategic promotion of creative works, or advanced academic research. It explicitly shows how developing these fundamental skills like, say, clear articulation or efficient reading or in-depth musicology, how they feed directly into these professional routes.
That makes a lot of sense. So whether you're a musician looking to publish, or maybe a programmer helping to launch an app, or even an athlete planning a coaching career, understanding these real-world links early on is pretty crucial.
Absolutely key.
Okay, now let's explore how the program refines what it calls its 14 core TQ skills at this advanced level.
Yeah.
You mentioned these aren't just small steps up, but real transformative shifts. Shifts we can maybe connect to any deep area of expertise.
Yeah, and a key aspect to consider is how each of these fundamental skills evolves, how it changes to truly prepare students for professional engagement. Think of it as moving from just knowing how to do something to really understanding why you do it that way and then being able to innovate within that knowledge.
Fascinating. Okay, let's start with a group of skills that seem to touch on the physical and practical side of mastery. We're talking about things like articulation, movement, posture, and practicing. How do these change at this advanced level?
Okay, so articulation. It transforms from just, precise execution into something much more nuanced. A stylistically informed expressive tool.
Expressive how?
Well, students cultivate mastery over a huge palette of touch and attack. Maybe they're applying historical performance practices for, say, Baroque music, or they're pioneering completely new sonic textures in contemporary pieces. This refined control allows for incredibly innovative interpretations, shaping every single phrase with real intention.
Ah, I see. Like a master chef's precise knife skills for different ingredients, maybe?
Right.
Or a public speaker's vocal tone.
Exactly like that. Then you've got movement and posture. These go way beyond just basic actions and alignment. Movement, on and at the instrument, develops into a highly refined physical technique that focuses on efficiency, ergonomic awareness, crucially preventing injury.
Right, sustainability.
Yeah. And posture moves to this really in-depth understanding of ergonomics for sustained practice and performance, learning to identify and release physical tension. It's absolutely crucial for career longevity, maximizing physical freedom for expression, or really for any profession where sustained physical well-being is vital. Think athletes, surgeons.
Yeah, makes sense. It's not just about what you do, but how your body supports it long term.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about practicing? Because for a lot of us, that just means more hours, right?
Exactly. And here, practicing transforms. It becomes highly efficient, analytical, goal-oriented. Students cultivate mastery over complex problem solving. They apply deep listening, critical self-evaluation to troubleshoot both technical and musical challenges.
So smarter practice, not just harder.
Precisely. It includes sophisticated time management strategies for mastering huge amounts of repertoire and integrating all that theoretical, historical knowledge directly into the daily routine. It's about preparing them for autonomous, highly effective self-development. So yeah, much less about brute force hours and more like an elite athlete's training plan or a top researcher's iterative experimental design.
That's a huge shift from just grinding out scales. Okay, now let's look at another category. Maybe the more intellectual, creative, and analytical skills. Things like composition, form, listening, musicology, and tonality. How are these pushed to an advanced level?
Okay, composition. It develops significant depth, moving way beyond foundational concepts. We're talking multiple styles, advanced techniques.
Like what kind of techniques?
Well, complex harmony, think extended chords, maybe polytonality, which is like using multiple keys at once. Intricate counterpoint, even orchestration, understanding how to write effectively for different instruments, even if you're a pianist. Students explore really diverse influences, maybe ethnic music traditions or microtonal systems. Those involve notes between the conventional piano keys.
Ooh, it's between the notes.
Okay, yeah. And this directly leads to professions involving creating original works for performance, publication, commissions. But for anyone, really, it's like developing the ability to design complex systems from scratch, weaving multiple ideas into a coherent whole. Software architecture, urban planning. It's that level of thinking. Then there's form. It moves beyond just identifying structures, like sonata form or whatever, to a really profound analytical understanding. It's about deconstructing complex structures across all sorts of genres, multi-movement symphonies, non-Western cyclical forms.
So understanding the blueprint.
The underlying blueprint, exactly. And that mastery informs both expressive performance and original composition.
Right, whether it's music, a novel, or even a complex business plan.
Yeah.
Got it. And listening.
Listening develops into this active, analytical, truly critical listening. Students learn to identify really subtle nuances, timbre, balance, texture, intonation. They do oral analysis of complex harmonies, polyphony.
For hearing everything that's going on.
Everything. It allows for a highly discerning ear for self-correction, for playing well with others, and it encourages listening really widely across genres and cultures for inspiration. It's about developing an incredibly refined perception, the kind that lets a doctor diagnose a subtle condition maybe, or an engineer pinpoint a tiny flaw in a complex machine.
That level of detail. Okay, what about musicology? Isn't that just history?
Well, it goes way beyond foundational history here. It involves extensive research capabilities, critically engaging with primary sources. Students develop skills for historically informed performance, understanding how music was actually played back then. It includes exploring sociocultural contexts, the origins of music, its role in different cultures, and integrating all that academic research into practical performance and composition. This opens up professional paths in academic research, writing program notes, lecturing, critical analysis. It's really about being able to dive deep into the history and context of any field, understanding its evolution and how that shapes what we do now.
Okay, and finally in this group, tonality, harmony, keys. How does that get advanced?
Tonality is explored with significant depth. It covers both traditional and contemporary harmonic languages. So, yes, students get a just understanding of conventional tonal harmony, advanced modulation, extended chromaticism, large-scale harmonic structures.
But also the newer stuff.
Exactly. Innovation is fostered by exploring atonality music without a central key, serialism, post-tonal systems, modal music, even microtonal scales, and non-Western tonal concepts. It's a comprehensive command, fundamental for sophisticated analysis, whether you're performing or composing, and for creating works across a vast spectrum of styles.
So it's like mastering the grammar of a system
Ugh.
and then knowing how and when to break the rules, blend them, or even invent new ones.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
That really brings the idea of breaking boundaries to life.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at how all this mastery kind of funnels out into the world. The last few skills we need to touch on seem focused on professional engagement, presentation, pitch, reading, and then rhythm and tempo.
Right, so presentation. Often we just think performance, but here it cultivates a really polished professional etiquette. It involves mastering audience communication, writing compelling program notes, establishing a commanding stage presence, delivering impactful introductions.
More than just playing the notes.
Much more. And it extends beyond live performance, too. Building robust professional portfolios, creating high-quality recordings, establishing a strategic online presence. It's about fostering self-promotion and professionalism, communicating your expertise effectively, basically, whether you're on stage, in a boardroom, or presenting research findings.
Makes sense. And pitch. For a piano, that's fixed, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. It demands absolute precision and intonation. For pianists, this means a nuanced understanding and control over voicing how you balance the notes in a chord and the subtle tuning of chords within our standard tempered system. But they also delve into the theory and practice of different tuning systems, historical temperaments, just intonation, and they get introduced to microtonal pitch awareness, those notes between the notes we talked about.
Oh, okay.
Plus, advanced ear training enables mastery of complex melodic and harmonic dictation. So it translates to an incredibly refined sensitivity to detail and accuracy. Crucial whether you're a musician, an architect, ensuring precise measurements, or maybe a quality control expert.
That fine-tuned perception again. What about reading? Sight reading complex stuff.
Exactly. Reading evolves into an almost instantaneous and highly accurate skill. Critical for navigating complex scores with fluency, students master sight reading intricate multi-stave works, advanced rhythmic groupings, contemporary notation,
Even orchestral scores.
interpreting orchestral reductions, yeah. Chamber music scores, a potentially non-standard or graphic notation too. It's essential for accompanying ensemble work, studio recording, and just efficiently learning new repertoire. In any field, really, it's about quickly and accurately processing complex information, a dense legal document, a detailed blueprint, a new software manual.
That ability to just absorb complex data.
Okay.
Love it. Last pair. Rhythm and tempo.
Right. Rhythm demands mastery over increasingly complex patterns. Polymeters, polyrhythms, irregular meters. Students cultivate an exceptional ability to internalize and accurately execute really intricate rhythmic subdivisions. And they develop expressive rhythmic flexibility, like nuanced rubato, that subtle give and take in time. And tempo, well, it transcends just speed. It becomes a highly refined expressive tool. Students cultivate consistent and flexible control over tempo, mastering nuanced rubato, accelerando, speeding up, retardando, slowing down, all with a deep understanding of their stylistic meaning.
So controlling time.
Controlling time, yeah. And maintaining an unwavering internal pulse, even through really complex passages. It's about incredibly precise timing and control, knowing when to push, when to hold back, how to keep that core pulse steady. Skills that are invaluable in project management, surgery, sports. Anyway, timing is critical.
Wow. Okay, so we've just walked through these incredibly detailed skill evolutions, often described, as you said, through the lens of piano tuition. But the big question, I guess, for our listener is this program really only for classical pianists, or is this framework as universal as we've been suggesting?
Yeah, and this brings up a really crucial point. While the specific details of how each skill is applied will certainly change instrument to instrument, genre to genre, the underlying framework, those Triquetrae zones and the 14 core TQ skills, that is entirely cross-instrumental.
So whether your thing is pop, jazz, film scoring, maybe traditional folk music, or even if your passion lies completely outside of music, these advanced skills are still the fundamental tools for excellence.
Absolutely. The profound development of skills like articulation, composition, form, listening, movement, musicology, presentation, posture, practicing, pitch, reading, rhythm, tempo, and tonality, it equips individuals with a truly universal language of mastery. These skills aren't just confined to classical performance or academic research, they are precisely the tools required for excellence in incredibly diverse fields. They empower anyone to apply their refined abilities and innovative spirit to, well, any genre, any context, any calling.
That was a truly comprehensive deep dive into what it actually means to achieve mastery in innovation, driven by such a structured, thoughtful program. It seems really clear that moving beyond a certain level isn't just about practicing more or working harder,
No.
but about refining every single facet of your craft with real intentionality, deep analytical thinking, and always keeping an eye towards real-world application.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, it just highlights how true expertise involves this multifaceted approach, doesn't it? Integrating deep theoretical understanding with practical application, with critical self-evaluation across this whole broad spectrum of interconnected skills. It's about building a really robust foundation that allows for incredible adaptability and creativity in, well, in any professional pursuit.
So for you, our listener, maybe think about this. The Triquetrae Advanced Program, it offers this fascinating blueprint for achieving excellence, not just in music, but really in any field.
So what's the core takeaway here maybe for anyone pursuing mastery in their own area? Perhaps consider how applying this kind of deep dive approach to skill development. Focusing on integrating diverse aspects, cultivating precision, fostering innovation within every single task, and always connecting it back to practical application. How might that transform your own journey, helping you move beyond just being proficient to achieving true innovative mastery in whatever your chosen path is?